Fake news dito, fake news doon. Ano ba ang totoo? Madalas na pag-uusapan kung paano kumakalat ang disinformation at kung ano ang mga consequence nito. Pero we rarely ask why. Why does it spread and why do we believe it? Sa paglaganap ng mga bagay na hindi totoo, may napapala ba ang mga tao? At higit sa lahat, bakit mahirap pigilan ang pagkalat nito? On the psychology of fake news, here's what you need to know. First of all, ano nga ba ang fake news?
In scholarship, in fact, yung term na fake news ay isang oxymoron. Because in the debate of news should always be true and factual, right? So the more technical term that is used, it's more encompassing. It's not just news, but other forms of deceitful content is in fact called disinformation. Now, there are three criteria to what we consider as disinformation. First is that, it contains falsehood or distortion of facts. Second is that it can harm society in particular ways, especially in the context of, democracies. And the last one that is distinct for disinformation and not misinformation is the intent to harm.
Hindi na bago ang mga chismis, conspiracy theories, at mga gawa-gawang balita. Mula sa mga pangakong napapako ng mga politiko, political at corporate propaganda, hanggang sa sensationalist at clickbait content ng media. Sa kasagsagan ng polusyon sa impormasyon, 3 uri ng information disorder ang kinilala ng isang report noong 2017. Ito ay ang misinformation, malinformation, at disinformation.
Talo lahat talaga tayo pagdating sa misinformation. Hindi lang pagdating sa politika, pagdating sa health, no? Pagdating sa history, no? Pagdating sa ekonomiya. And the biggest victim talaga are those who believe it.
Kung taong bayan din ang talo, bakit naniniwala pa rin tayo rito? Ayon kay Dr. Ver Reyes, isang licensed psychologist, this is tied with our psychology, belief, and behavior.
Pag sinabi natin yung fake news or parang may aspect siya na may paniniwala ka and then a behavior.
Let's look at 3 concepts behind the psychology of fake news. Ang confirmation bias, cognitive dissonance, at blind idolatry.
Usually, confirmation bias, yun yung textbook definition yan is yung tendency natin to process information by looking for or pag nag-i-interpret tayo ng information na consistent dun sa belief natin. So, dun pumapasok si bias at dun din lumalabas yung pagko-confirm kasi naghahanap ka, for example, sa mga teachers, no? Kapag nabigyan ka na ng information na ay nako, yung klase na yan, magugulo yan. Ang tendency mo ngayon, hanapin na i-confirm yung paniniwala mo na ay oo nga, magulo nga sila. Kahit hindi naman talaga.
We tend to create our own definition of reality, and we work towards aligning our belief systems with our activities and virtues.
When you talk about cognitive dissonance naman, yung dissonance kasi normally incompatible belief system siya. The example niyan is smoking a cigarette. No? Para kung may belief ka na naniniwala kang hindi maganda ang paninigarilyo, pero nagyoyosi ka. Okay, so incompatible yung dalawang yun kasi meron kang belief system na mali ang paninigarilyo pero ginagawa mo pa rin. So what happens? Nalilesen no yung dissonance, nalilesen yung conflicting ideas kasi either papalitan mo na lang yung action or papalitan mo yung belief. Ang tendency kasi nating mga tao, mabawasan lang lagi yung discomfort, diba? Yun yung ayaw natin ng naiinitan, ayaw natin ng nasasaktan. So usually yun yung nagkakaroon ng primary consideration, mabawasan mo lang siya.
Ayon sa linguist at political scientist na si Noam Chomsky, language, word, and information are the currency of power and politics. Kaya paano kung mismong figures of authority ang gumagamit ng mga propaganda at rhetoric? At tumatawag na fake news to dismiss accurate information dahil lang ayaw nila rito.
Nagiging politicized na yung use ng fake news. It's just used to deflect accountability or questioning or scrutiny from media, from regulators, kung may regulators man who can who understands the disinformation environment we have. We know that there's a lot of anti-media populist rhetoric being thrown around by the state, by other actors. So in the context where there's heightened distrust of institutions, where do you seek information? It's in the alternative sources, which are not people who can really vouch for this information, but they are out there and are quite popular, in fact, because of that social capital they have online.
It's something very personal. And usually, based on research din, lumalabas, we have deep parang attachments, pag-charismatic yung mga individuals, no? And normally, binibigyan natin yan ng mga superhuman abilities or parang ang galing-galing niya, ang tali-talino niya. To the point na kung ano na lang yung sabihin nila, no? We believe kasi it makes us comfortable. In the Philippines, medyo cultural din siya. No? Yung tayo versus sila or kami versus kayo. May ganun din kasi tayong paniniwala.
Pero ano ang dangers ng pag-idolo sa isang tao o paglalagay sa kanila sa pedestal?
At medyo dangerous yon. Kasi ang nangyayari, instead of, for example, creating our own philosophies, our own moral compass, nagiging lazy tayo, nagiging tamad tayo kasi inaasa na lang natin sa isang tao yung what is good and what is right. It doesn't really make us grow as individuals. But putting them above everything else, that is when it becomes dangerous. Kasi hindi ka na nagiging in control of your own destiny, of your own journey.
People strive to make sense of issues. Kaya isa pa sa mga konseptong pwedeng tingnan ay ang heuristics.
Ano ba yung heuristics? It's a mental shortcut to solve problems, no? Kasi madali yon. Rule of thumb strategy siya. Pag ganito yung nakita mo, ganito yung gagawin mo. Pero ito lang, disclaimer din. Yung heuristics, madalas yan kapag quick yung kailangan mo na judgment. Okay? Yung time frame yung important dito. Kung ang election yung titignan natin in general, may given time tayo to process it.
Aside from being prone to making snap decisions, not everyone has the luxury of time.
For example, yung mga interviews. Well, nobody has the time to, devote their whole 4 hours, 5 hours to listen to the debates. May oras ka ba? Ito yung problema at kailangan mo siyang desisyonan. Then you rely on heuristics.
Kaya sa mga konseptong ito ay dapat ding i-consider ang tinatawag na privileged perspectives.
Pero ayoko kasi siyang tawaging laziness kasi ayoko din magkaroon ng pagle-label na tamad ka kasi. Di ba yun yung isip natin ng lazy? Tamad kang mag-isip or yung term, bobo ka kasi tinatamad ka lang mag-isip. Ang pananaw natin, lahat ng tao may panahon para mag-reflect. More than cognitive laziness, it's cognitive prioritization. Yung asan mo ipa-prioritize? Yung energy mo. Nagmamadali ka bang magdesisyon ngayon? Kasi kung hindi naman, di ba? Baka pwede mong pag-isipan pa ng mas matagal.
Noong 2018, tinawag ng Facebook executive na si Katie Harbath ang Pilipinas bilang patient zero sa nagaganap na fake news pandemic o infodemic across social media.
A lot of reports actually label the Philippines as patient zero of this information crisis globally, and whatever the strategies and tactics executed in the US elections, Brexit campaign, nauna na yan sa Pilipinas. Parang ito yung experimentation, tayo ang guinea pig ng disinformation operations.
2019 nang iba ng Facebook ang isang digital marketing group sa Pilipinas dahil sa paulit-ulit na violations ng kanilang misrepresentation and spam policies, including coordinated inauthentic behavior and the use of fake accounts. They also removed 64 Facebook accounts, 32 pages, and 33 Instagram accounts na nagmula sa Pilipinas, for violating their policy against foreign or government interference noong September 2020. In January 2021, sinuspinde ng Twitter ang daan-daang accounts dahil sa paglabag sa rules on spam and manipulation ng social media platform.
The thing is, these networks, supposedly the platforms have addressed this. Some of them may mga tinake down na silang content, may tinake down na silang mga accounts, pero it's not enough. Because again, you can always create new ones, even if may mga na-take down. The thing is, if this information is all about trust, all about social relationship, that can happen offline as well. And I've seen that, it really happens within your immediate circle. You don't go to a stranger and change their mind. It happens organically in your own community, in your own family even.
And I'd like to think that people who do not know it's fake news are, number one, they're coming from a position of concern. No? That they simply want to share information. But caring, di ba yun nga yung sharing is caring, is not necessarily caring. Kung concerned po talaga kayo sa pag-ano ng information, sa pagpapakalat ng information, siguraduhin po ninyo na tama yung impormasyon.
Ayon kay Dr. Reyes, lumalabas sa current research na kapag negative ang mood, mas nagiging skeptic ang mga tao. Sa positive mood naman, mas mataas ang level ng gullibility to deception. Paano naman ginagamit ang fear and anger as vehicles of fake news?
Fear is important because we want a call to action. Now, fear becomes important when it is real. Pero it becomes immoral, it becomes unethical if you use fear to get votes or to get for you to spread fake news. Kasi at the end of the day, what will happen to people, diba? They would, because ito yung nararamdaman nila, they will always make the wrong choices.
May bakuna bang pangontra sa matagal ng pandemya ng fake news sa bansa?
The solution to this is multifaceted. It's not just the journalists doing fact-checking. It's not just the civil society doing media literacy campaigns. It's the technical literacy that's being taught. It's not really the analytical part of things to discern what is true, what is falsehood online. So I think we need to double down on that.
In the same manner na maging careful ka sa pagiging marites mo, di ba? It's the same thing eh. Iba mo lang yung platform. But it creates kasi animosity, no? It creates confusion. It doesn't really help anybody else except dun sa magbe-benefit nung fake news na yan. If that person, let's say, gets elected or if the product gets sold because of wrong information.
Magmumula rin sa ating mga mamamayan ang paninindigan at laban para sa katotohanan. Paalala nga natin ngayong eleksyon mga kapuso, dapat totoo. Ako si Zay Arguelles, GMA News.